What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. You check out the content. And with that being said, man, I'm going to talk about this whiteboard situation that's going on with Rich Paul, man. And this guy is funny as I don't know what. I just couldn't believe when I saw what he was doing with this whiteboard. Right here, you have LeBron James, one of the most like one of the most recognizable athletes in the world. And this guy comes onto a podcast with a whiteboard, right? Managing, like trying to persuade teams and convince people that LeBron James is good for this team, good for that team, and what his impact is on the, in the NBA. Now, it would just seem to me if LeBron James, if he really thought LeBron James has so much value, that he would present LeBron James in a more professional way. He's got a whiteboard, that he wrote out by hand or somebody wrote it out by hand for him. And he just points to different teams talking about different scenarios and stuff like that, right? And then he wonder why, like people really, especially like managers and teams, are not really taking him serious. They're not taking LeBron James serious. For as much money and as much power as LeBron James have, no way in the world this guy, Rich Paul, should be presenting LeBron James like this. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to play the audio. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play the audio from Odd Couple because they reacted to it, and I want to react to, put my input on it, right? But a lot of what he's saying is not true. When he talk about how what teams might want LeBron James and how he would fit in and what his impact would be on these different teams. A lot of that is not even true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the audio from the Odd Couple. Then I'm going to come back and give my input.
On the whiteboard. Here
Martin, set the table. All right, Rob.
Every time I say that, they say I'm racist. Yes, I'm saying to set the table.
That's got to be racist.
That says more about you than it does him. I get it. Set the table. It's like you tell me the sports talk radio host who doesn't have a lot on the table today. Then they'd be in trouble. All right, so LeBron agent Rich Paul comes out with just, in my opinion, chef's kiss moment. You had the decision all those years ago in the Boys and Girls Club in Miami. This is that was they tell us the final decision. This is the beginning, I suppose. But LeBron and Rich Paul and went through the different teams that are available potentially for LeBron to sign with, saying that he would sign for the veteran minimum. On this list, you have the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Denver Nuggets, the San Antonio Spurs, in no particular order, New York Knicks, Minnesota Timberwolves, Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers, Boston Celtics, Dallas Mavericks, and the Golden State Warriors. And then Rich Paul and Max Kellerman proceeded to spend about half an hour on his podcast breaking down the different pros and cons to each one.
Where are you when you see the list? Where do you think LeBron should end up?
I think this entire thing, after listening to it and after kind of digesting it, I think this whole whiteboard situation is an effort to try to entice Golden State to do more work in order to get, I think, because this whole Anthony Davis is untradeable is hard for me to buy. I think that Washington is holding Golden State over a barrel, quote unquote.
And they should.
And I don't fault them to do it.
And they should. Why should they give Golden State what they want?
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Especially if I'm a team like Washington who is not contended for eons, apparently, and now is about to try to contend finally for what it seems to be the first time since Agent Zero was in the building, and he's now been a podcaster for quite some time. But when you look at this list, you look at this whiteboard, the only two times there's only two names on here is Steph and Dre and Brad and Tatum. I don't think Brad and Tatum are really that real reality of an option, considering what they just did with Jaylen Brown and Paul George. But they all played together at the Olympics. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Draymond Green did different Olympics. But the point remains, every time somebody links up at the Olympics, we see it play out in the NBA down the line. James Harden breaks out from his own team. It really does influence movement. And I think this whiteboard is all an effort to show Golden State Look at all the reasons why I should go anywhere but you. You need to make more moves, especially going to get Anthony Davis. That's my read on.
My read on it is it's just desperation, and then not only is it desperation, but it's really a poor attempt at trying to convince Golden State that, like LeBron James would be good for their team. I don't think there's anything really, in my opinion, that LeBron James or Rich Paul can say at this time that would make Golden State believe that LeBron James would be, like the piece that could get them over the hump, especially if Golden State is really interested in just trying to make another run. LeBron James, for no team in the NBA, like he's not the missing part for no team in the NBA, especially at his age. When Rich Paul is going to go on to say that had New York Knicks lost, this year in the playoffs or in the championship somewhere, that definitely LeBron James would have gone there, right? And so to present these type of hypothetical situations that not only didn't occur, but they didn't occur, number one. And so what's the point of saying, if New York had a loss, LeBron James would have went there? There's no point. And so that's how you know that Rich Paul is not really a professional at this, because that's just a waste of, it's just a wasted comment.
Situation.
Where do you think he should go?
I think it should be Golden State, because I'm at the place where if you've split your opinion between who's the GOAT or whatever, I think that's debate. That there's no way, if LeBron has not already eclipsed you for number one, he's not going to at this stage in the career. There's not enough time left in his career to do what he would quote unquote need to do that. So to me, winning another championship is happenstance. I think if it's really what he says, it's not about the money, it's about having fun, it's about being in a happy situation.
Now, do you believe for LeBron James that that at this point in his career, it's not about the money, it's more about having fun? When, remember, at the beginning of these negotiations, LeBron James they were putting it out there that LeBron James wouldn't take a pay cut. Now all of a sudden, when LeBron James, it's obvious that LeBron James don't have he don't have any leverage. Now it's all about, it's about the fun and the love of the game. So the narrative has changed, because the Lakers have made it, they've made it clear that they're not going to give LeBron James that money. That's why they signed Austin Reeves. So now that, like LeBron James has to take a different approach, which makes it more obvious to everybody else, that LeBron James is, he's desperate. And I think I'm going to make some videos about why LeBron James is desperate, why LeBron James needs to stay in this league as long as possible. I think that not only is LeBron James, he want to play this year, but I think he want to play another year after this, right? And so I'm going to make some videos, like going into that and telling why.
He should go to Golden State. That's what I would say.
All right, I'm going to disagree, and I think there's only really one place. Go back to where you started. Go to Cleveland. I mean, they had a nice playoff run, right? They got buzzsawed by the Knicks after leading by 22 with 8 minutes in game one. He's from there. You could put a nice bow on the story. If you're not going to win, then at least you have that as a story that you could, make a happy ending to. You could go to Golden State and that become a flop. Anthony Davis is hurt.
Yeah, I think the best bet for LeBron James, in my opinion, the best move for him would be to go to Cleveland. Like Rob Parker says, or he getting ready to get into, if LeBron goes to Golden State, right, and it's a flop there and it's not a success, that is just one more thing to tarnish his image, right? And I don't think that Steph Curry's image is going to be tarnished, but I do think that it's just going to be more ammunition for people who, who just don't really dig LeBron James. So I think Steph Curry he'll be safe in that situation. But LeBron James, I think, if he don't want to take any more hits to his legacy, I think the best thing for LeBron James would be to go to Cleveland. And so with Rich Paul making this type of presentation on a podcast, and you know, with a whiteboard, he may as well have crayon or using an Etch-a-Sketch or something, man, because people really they don't take Rich Paul serious, you know, because he need to be making these type of presentations, not on a whiteboard, but you know, like a professional presentation to managers, team owners, you know, executives, people who had the power to pull the trigger on a decision like this, instead of, you know, on a podcast. I just don't get it. I don't get, you know, why he would do this on a podcast. I think it's beneath LeBron James for Rich Paul to be making this, you know, a presentation on a podcast. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'm gonna check you all out in the next video. Peace.